Hello, my lovely angels. This is your girl Sim, back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi. I have a maceration update for you. So these were perfumes I bought like very randomly. Actually, yeah, except for one, there are 9 perfumes over here. Except for one, all of them were bought by me, so it's not sponsored. None of them were sponsored. None of them are PR. But some of these perfumes I really like, and actually most of these perfumes are perfumes I really like. I just want to see if their performances have increased, and some of y'all off late have been asking me to do the maceration update. I do think it's a little too early to do this maceration update, but you know what? Let me just test them out. I have a feeling most of these have macerated except a few of them which need like a little more time. But I'm still using them, so it doesn't matter, because the perfumes are just beautiful. Let me start with Ahmad Al Maghribi, and let me start with one I don't like too much, and that one is the mildest of them all. This one is called Little Hearts. And this is supposed to be a dupe for your Herba Pura DNA. Now, this perfume already was quite potent and long lasting. Right now, it is probably like 7 to 8 hours. It's very long lasting, and it's one of those perfumes that stick to your skin and don't come off, Even end of the day, you'll keep getting whiffs of it, and this one is no different. It's macerated for the better, because initially when I smelled this, I was like, oh no, this is like the DNA of Herba Pura, and not in a good way, because La Jasmine Wisp, for example, by Rasasi, it's a perfume which is also from the same DNA, but I like it because it leans a little bit more floral. This one is definitely your fruits more than the florals, but I kind of like it right now. And I have a feeling that I might use it. I had thought of initially decluttering this one, but I'm going to keep it because first of all, it's a 50 ml, and secondly, I do want one perfume at least in my collection which is like Herba Pura. Plus, a lot of y'all suggested that use it for layering, and that's a brilliant idea. So I will use this for layering, right? I bought this for only $20 from their website, so it comes like dirt cheap. Your top notes are sweet citrus, sweet lime and orange. Middle notes are fruity, mango, pineapple and mixed fruits, and the base notes of amber resin, musk and vanilla. This is what I tell you. Like certain DNAs, they start bothering you, or initially you don't like that DNA. And perfumes are literally so subjective that seasonally, according to your mood, according to your cycle, like so many different things, your skin, how hydrated it is, what kind of pH it has. There's so many factors that go into a perfume being liked or disliked. If you know me, last year I was like repulsed, absolutely repulsed by anything that was Herba Pura. None of the fruits seem realistic, okay? It does smell like something that would be in a drink or a flavored drink or something. It smells like a tropical cocktail or something, and it's beautiful. Honestly, I would love to add a little bit of some coconut scent to this. So probably like Nuha by Khadlaj, or maybe like your Alien Goddess, or if you have any other coconut scent, which is like a mild coconut, not your floral coconut, not your spicy coconut or something. I think this perfume is going to do very well. As a matter of fact, let me just quickly do, I have your Burberry Goddess, just to try a little bit of layering combination, right? Yes, I'm absolutely right. Sometimes you just smell a perfume and I wish they had added coconut to this, you smell a perfume and you're like, I wish there was a little bit of tobacco in it, or pink pepper in it, or something. It would make the perfume a completely different ball game. And this is just that. So if you have like a pure coconut perfume, or if you have a floral coconut perfume, layering it with your Little Hearts, this is like a brilliant, oh my goodness, this is a very good layering combination, I should have tried it with Nuha, since this is a Middle Eastern perfume channel. Initially, I had given it a 6 out of 10. I wasn't very happy with the perfume. The musk was bothering me, and it was just like something I did not like. But right now, I would give this a 7.5 out of 10. It is still not like a perfume I will gravitate towards and I'll want to spray it on myself all the time. But for sure, thank you to everybody who actually suggested this to use it as a layering combination. It is stunning, especially with coconut perfumes. I think it's going to be brilliant. Next we have Bidun Esam, which is also from Ahmad Al Maghribi. I really like this bottle. It's really cute. I think all these bottles are really cute. First of all, it's 50 ml, and then you know I have this love for matching bottles, right? Now this one is definitely a very beautiful perfume. I know a lot of people like it a lot. It's the coldest, most syrupy, jammy rose that you'll come across. It literally smells like rose syrup. If you have had rose syrup, the drink, you can get it in any Asian stores, or I don't know if in other cultures people use like rose syrup a lot. It's a very Iranian thing to do, or South Asian thing to do. This definitely smells thick, it smells syrupy, but it also smells super cold, you know? The top notes for this are rose and saffron, which is giving that very cold rose scent. In the middle you have white flowers, and the base you have Cambodian oud, musk and amber. Frankly speaking, I can barely smell that oud. The oud is there in such a minute, minuscule quantity that you can't really identify it. It doesn't smell like oud. It does smell like a slight bit of woody note. It's a very good perfume. I was planning on decluttering it because I have too many rose perfumes and I don't gravitate towards rose perfumes. I'm going to make a decision about this towards the end of the year when I'm planning the declutter. As of now, I'm going to keep it because it does smell really nice, and probably I might take this out during fall winter, because in summer I think this is going to be too cloying, it's too sweet, it's too rosy. Definitely like heady, you know, it'll make you feel heady. And if you go in the heat with this perfume, it'll make you feel nauseated as well. This again should be a perfume that should be mixed as a layering, you know. So on its own, yes, it's very rose jammy or rose syrupy perfume. But I think if you want to add like that jammy cold rose to another perfume, you can use this. Probably to oud perfumes, for example, or what else? Like I might try and use it with like vanilla perfumes again, because I'm just thinking of like rose vanilla. Okay, then it'll give you roses vanilla, but like I just want to try how it works out with the ones I have currently, you know. It is supposed to resemble Rose d'Araby by Armani. Now I don't know about that, how close it is to that, but it just smells like literally nothing. Just smells like a very cold, rosy, syrupy, sweet, saffrony syrup. I'd given it a rating of 7.5 out of 10 earlier, and I'm going to stick to that. In terms of maceration, yes, it has become a lot more thicker, a lot more sweeter, and there is no trace of any sort of mixing liquid like alcohol or anything, not at all. Now the last one from Ahmad Al Maghribi, I've been using it like crazy. I unfortunately cannot see through the glass. This is called Cherry, and this is supposed to be a dupe for your Mon Cherry, Dior Miss Cherry. Now if anybody knows the DNA of Dior Miss Cherry, I've heard it got discontinued because some of the ingredients were, I don't know, it was not available, or they could not use it anymore, or some story behind that. But they discontinued it. It was one of my most loved fragrances. So of course, and I was on a hunt for finding a dupe for it for a very long time. But I was so unsuccessful that I gave up ultimately. And I was like, you know, this is not happening. This is not working out. Forget it, you know. And it just so happened I was expecting this to be a cherry perfume since it's called Cherry. Turned out to be the dupe for Dior Miss Cherry. Sometimes, you know, when you don't look too hard, you find things that you want in life, you know. So the top notes for this are strawberry, cherry, pineapple and mandarin, heart notes of caramel, rose, jasmine and violet, and the base notes of patchouli, musk and amber. It's a very fresh, fruity, citrus fruity. It almost smells to my nose like lemon on top of strawberries. If you squeeze like some lemon on top of strawberries, how it would smell like. That's your opening, along with some sweetness of really ripe pineapples. But then your base notes are musky, ambery, like sweet, calming, you know. The perfume is very, it's a happy perfume. You know, if they had named this perfume instead of cherry, if they would named it like happy something, you know. They have the happy hearts, right? No, that was little hearts. Happy hearts? Okay, that's another perfume. Anyhow, yeah, definitely they shouldn't have named this cherry, because the cherry note in this is not very prominent. This smells more like lemon, your mandarin orange and your strawberry more than anything else, with a little bit of musky background. Even the pineapple note, which is supposed to be like a very prominent note, it's not prominent in this at all. In terms of maceration, yes, it's become better. Honestly, it's not like a stark difference. It's like mildly better, but already it was performing like 8 hours. And this perfume, like, I don't know how much better it can get. I can just tell you that I feel the ingredients have become more well blended. after maceration. It doesn't feel like all sorts of different notes. It just smells like a nice, beautifully composed perfume. And it's also feeling like it's developed this designer quality to it. I really like this perfume. I've been using it like nuts, and I really, I'm sure I can never live without this perfume again, which is why this is a absolute 10 out of 10. All these 3 perfumes were only $20, which is like awesome, right? This is your all day spring summer perfume. Very fresh, very dainty, very girly, very naughty as well at the same time. Very like a fresh, happy perfume. Next, we have 2 perfumes from Paris Corner. Let me start with the Autobiography Salty Breeze. Look how cute the bottle is. By the way, this bottle is very heavy. It can be used as a weapon. It's like really, you can use it as weights as well. It doesn't do justice, you know, on the camera because it's... Now, if you remember, this was a dupe for Jo Malone's Sea Salt Wood Sage. You know which perfume I'm talking about. Smells like a spa in Norwegia. Norway. I'm so sorry about my ignorance, you know. Norwegia. I just created a country altogether. Norway. It smells like, you know, one of your Iceland or Norway or somewhere where it's really cold and then you have those cold spas. Reminds me of that imagery where people are in this pond or pool or whatever that is, where it's like snow everywhere and they're in this warm pool and they're swimming and they're putting this mud thingy on their face. It smells like a spa, and an expensive spa. Now, the thing is that it was extremely weak. When I got it, it was very heavy on alcohol as well. Like the initial blast was like that feeling you get like you burnt all your nostril, the hair in your nostril. It was the same vibe. But right now, I feel it's reduced, but it's not reached there yet. Also, the ingredients have now blended. The top notes are sage and sea salt. That's exactly what it is. In the heart, you have grapefruit and ambrette, but it's a very mild grapefruit. So don't think it's like a juicy, like you're squishing the grapefruit or something. No. It's just like a very mild hint of grapefruit with the ambrette. And then in the base notes, you have seaweed. When I think of the seaweed note, all I can think of is sushi for some reason. So it's not a good point of, it's not a note that I can easily understand in a perfume situation, you know. But all I can tell you, it does smell very aquatic, you know, because of that seaweed, the sea smell, and the fact that it's called Salty Breeze is literally you feel like you took a swim in like the sea in Norway or somewhere, you know, and then you're walking by the beach and you know the air is like hitting your skin and you have salt on your body, but at the same time you're wearing like a sage essential oil or something. It's a very pretty fragrance. It's definitely gotten better. It's not irky or bothersome at all. Initially when I started using this, it had a heavy Play-Doh quality to it. That Play-Doh quality is almost gone. So if anybody was scared of this perfume because of that, don't be scared anymore. I can't smell that Play-Doh note at all. As a matter of fact, that amber note has like come out a little bit more, the ambrette, and I can smell the sweetness as well now, which was initially not there. It was a very dry, like almost smell like gin. So yes, I am definitely appreciating this perfume way more. Out of all the perfumes I've done so far, this one has macerated the best. But in terms of performance, not so much. It'll still give you like, I would say 4 to 5 hours max. It's not going to be like, so it definitely needs much more maceration. This is your, again, spring summer perfume. More summer because it'll make you feel fresh, light. It's a very minimalistic perfume. So it's not going to, it literally smells like the Jo Malone perfumes, you know, the original ones where they used to smell very mild. The longevity is compared to like the Byrider perfumes, like they barely last. It's literally like that. And yeah, I do like it much more now. I'll be like gravitating towards this like so much more. You don't have much perfume in there, or maybe it just feels like there's not enough perfume in there, but I believe this is a 75 ml. And I got this again for just $20 from their pariscorner.ae website. AE is the extension we use in the UAE, you know. So any extension you see with .ae is your UAE websites. I would say the projection now is still like 1 to 2 feet only. It doesn't project too much. It's a very private, personal scent. And the longevity, like I said, is like 4 hours or so. 5 hours would be like stretching it. And now from the same autobiography collection, I have the Oh Boy, which was a passion fruit bomb when I had bought it. And that's what I liked about it, because if you remember, I went through a phase where I suddenly started liking very, very fruity fragrances. Perfumes that I would have never considered in my life to wear. I'm not a very fresh, fruity body mist kind of a person. This smells like a body mist. It smells like, again, still a passion fruit bomb. In comparison to Salty Breeze, they're stark opposites, by the way, right? But in comparison, in maceration comparison, this one still needs to get blended. I feel that blending of the notes together is not happened yet. It's not triggered yet. It's still better than before, because initially when I bought it, although I loved it a lot, it was very, very sharp. Like the sharpness of every note was like it was hitting you in the head, you know. The top notes for this are fruity, sweet and rose. In the middle you have powdery and passion fruit. And in the base you have woody and amber. Now when I read these notes, initially all I could smell was a whole lot of wood and passion fruit. Right now I do get like a fruity note, but of course it's like still the passion, but of course the passion fruit is still dominating. But you now have like a little bit of rose revealing itself as well, and it's developing a character. I can smell different notes. It's not just like a passion fruit bomb anymore, if that makes sense, you know. This was also like US dollars 20 or 25 from their website. And you know, the fact that they're saying powdery notes and woody notes and amber, this happens when the perfume is done, like 3 hours, you know. When it's like barely left on your skin, that's what you're left with, along with like that passion fruit note. So yeah, your powdery note and everything, it's not like a baby powder or like very prominent powdery notes. It's still a very fresh, juicy, literally feels like a passion fruit mojito or something. I could have sworn that there was some mint in this also, but like it's not mentioned over here. It does feel very mojito-like, a passion fruit mojito. Initially it was projecting only 1 feet. Now I would say it's projecting 2 feet. Longevity, I still, for this one, is not that high. It used to be 6 hours and I'll still stick to it, that it's still 6 hours. That's pushing it, you know, it doesn't last very long. But I know that this one, it's a Paris Corner perfume. You need 3-4 months, you know. So I know both these perfumes, there's no way I'm decluttering these two, you know, because they are, first of all, I just love these bottles. They feel quality, they feel good, they're minimalistic. I like everything about it. Plus, both these perfumes are very unique in a very simplistic way. And I feel like in summer and stuff, I think next year, these perfumes in summer would be like perfect to wear in the UAE heat, you know. I had given it a rating of 7.5. I will stick to 7.5 for now. Once it gets better, I will change it drastically. But as of now, still 7.5. Next, we have a perfume from French Avenue. And a lot of people were asking me to update about the maceration. This is Irida. I absolutely am in love with this bottle, and can you see how much I've finished already? And that's because I'm still using it despite of the fact that it's not macerated, because I just love this perfume. It's supposed to be a dupe for Electric Cherry by Tom Ford. It's getting better compared to what I smelled initially, with the notes being very like awkward, you know, like being very separate. You know what happens in maceration, right? It's not just your perfume getting better performance wise, it's also the perfume changing a little bit in terms of how you perceive it, plus your interaction of all the notes together, and what do you call it, the blend, the actual blend revealing itself. This one has changed so much from the beginning, right? In the beginning I could smell a lot of like the sharp ginger and pink pepper was very, very prominent. Now it's become a very perfumey perfume. Yes, you can smell like an artificial cherry. Literally feels like a cherry chewing gum. The first bite when you get, like when you eat like a cherry chewing gum, and like juiciness that comes in your mouth, but you know it's so artificial and sweet, that smell is exactly the same. But you have the added note of ginger, which makes it electric, fresh. You have your pink pepper, which adds a little bit of that spiciness that's very much required in a note such as a artificial cherry note. You have the top notes of cherry and ginger, middle notes of jasmine, and the base notes of amber, pink pepper, and musk. I think it's a stunning fragrance. I have been using it like a mental person. I mean, I made a huge dent in this. Also because it doesn't perform too well, so I was overspraying it and everything. The performance initially was 4 to 5 hours. I would say now it's like 6 hours. It does stay on your skin. Yes, it does not stay very potent, but it does stay on your skin. It doesn't disappear at all. So 6 hours. And I know this perfume as well, the type of perfume it is, you need to let it sit for some time. Give it some, create some air in this and let it sit. This doesn't come cheap, just like your other French Avenue perfumes, but I know one thing about French Avenue, they release good quality perfume. I was a little surprised that this one was like, it does require a bit of maceration. It'll cost you $50. This again is like a spring summer perfume. It projects, like initially it was just 1 feet, now it's projecting 3 feet. So yes, while it is not performing very highly, you know, the projection has increased, the blend has gotten better, the notes are interacting, and the perfume has changed slightly, which is what I was afraid of, that please don't change, but it's changed for the better. And it's not changed like to an extent where it's smelling like a completely different perfume. No, it's just smelling a lot more well composed, well put together. Next we have a perfume by Al Wataniya, and this is your Sabah Al Ward. Now I remember when I smelled this perfume for the first time, I was instantly sold. I was like, you know what, a jasmine perfume, of course I'm gonna like it, you know. For those who don't know, orange blossom, jasmine, these are like my favorite notes. And this perfume has macerated so much. The top notes for this are pink pepper, mandarin orange, middle notes of cacao pod, orange blossom and jasmine. And then you have your base notes of vanilla, tonka bean and patchouli. It's supposed to be a dupe for, if I'm not mistaken, oh no, it was not. It's not Ralph Lauren. One sec. It is a dupe for Ilia's Secreto Natura. I have no idea what that perfume is. And some people are calling it a dupe of Roberto Cavalli's Deep Desire. The Roberto Cavalli perfume, the red one, you know. This is a very interesting floral, that cacao pods or whatever. It's giving it like a little bittery cocoa scent. Not like a chocolate scent, but like the cacao, you know, exactly how the pods smell like. And then you have your pink pepper and orange, like meddling with the floral notes and creating an interest. I really think it's a very interesting perfume. While it's a very basic orange blossom jasmine fragrance, and I'm sure when you smell this it'll remind you like of 100 perfumes, because there's so many perfumes with the notes like which I mentioned over here, especially your orange blossom with jasmine and vanilla with the patchouli. But there's some intrigue about it, and I think it's because of that cacao and the pink pepper and your mandarin orange. It smells very sexy, it smells very well put together, it smells interesting. Like, although it does smell like a woman who's not young, like it not even old, but like definitely not a youthful perfume, right? It's a very mature person, like a grown-up person, an adult who has everything sorted in life, you know. You would want to go out to parties and stuff smelling like this, because you will smell sophisticated and put together. When I first sprayed this, I could have sworn I was smelling blackcurrant or grape or some weird note in it. It's completely gone, like completely. It's like a pure floral right now. It's a pure floral with some notes here and there which are interesting. It does have like a little bubblegummy thing going on. I don't know what that is, and I think that was the note that was giving me the grape perception, you know. But normally tuberose is the note that gives you that perception, but tuberose is not mentioned over here. It's still white florals, but not tuberosy at all. I really like this perfume. It's a very easy grab for a perfume that you would want to wear like for dinners or when you're hanging out with your friends, but in a little bit more serious situation. You can wear it for fun as well, but it's just something that people will appreciate. It's like the word that's coming in my mind is respectful. It's a respectful perfume, you know. So yes, that grapey note in the opening, which I was sensing a couple of months ago, it's not there at all. It's macerated, it's changed quite a bit. Middle Eastern perfumes are weird like that. Like some perfumes like this one, an entire note has disappeared, right? That grape note has disappeared. But grape was never mentioned, so I'm sure it was some kind of like maceration process. And now it's finally become like what it's supposed to be. And I really still do love this perfume. I would give this an 8 out of 10. The longevity is 8 hours for sure. And the projection would be like 3 to 4 feet. It's well projecting. It'll project slowly, but it'll project and fill up the room for sure. Next is a perfume by Al Absar, and it had really tickled my brain because it was just such a weird fragrance. I could not understand what it was trying to go for. It was just a strange scent. It was giving me a glue note as well. This is none other than Mudiya by Al Absar. I love this bottle. It's so cute. The only thing is that you can never hold it from the, you know, it's that loose. It's very, very like, it's catching dust by the way, because I've not picked this up in a long time. Initially I'd used it a lot, which is why I have a huge massive dent on it. Okay, not changed at all. At all. Maybe a little bit. It's become a little bit more composed together. Like all the notes are like merging, but it's still so weak. You can barely smell it. So I know if I still spray this perfume on myself, I'll have to go with like 15 sprays at least to make it smell like something. It's definitely a very intimate scent, yeah? But there's something about it which is so freaking attractive. I think it's the pear, because the opening has pear and jasmine. I cannot smell the jasmine at all. It's like a weird, like maybe an artificial jasmine or something. But the pear, which is also very artificial, but it's definitely the most prominent note in this. But then you have caramel and woody notes. And in the base you have Evernal Ambroxan. The caramel is giving it like a little bit of that thickness that was desperately required in this perfume. And it's definitely quite heavy on the wood. So I smell more of like pear, sweet notes and woods. That's all I get from this perfume. And I can't believe how beautiful this perfume is, but it's just that it does not last at all. And I can barely smell it. Now, if you have this perfume, please tell me if it's me. Am I anosmic to it, or am I like it doesn't work well with my skin chemistry or something? Because even if I spray it on myself, on the paper strip or on my skin, I can barely smell this perfume. I'm telling you, the projection for this one is literally if a person is here. Now I can smell this perfume. So you have to be like in someone's face to smell this perfume on them. Of course, if I spray like 15 sprays, of course people will smell it, but I'll keep topping it up. And I promise you I will finish this perfume within a month or 2 months max, you know, because I'll be going heavy-handed with this perfume. The glue note is almost gone. If you know Fevicol, that glue, the white glue, you know, it had that kind of note. And I was telling a story before that I was a glue sniffer when I was in school. I used to love sniffing on glue. My teacher used to get so pissed off at me, and she used to keep an eye on us because like we all were getting high or something. I'm not sure what was happening, but we all were sniffing glue, markers, white ink, you know, things like that. We were just like into it so much. And it reminded me of that Fevicol glue scent in the beginning. Now the glue scent is there somewhere in the background. I can still smell it like a hint. I know exactly what I was thinking at that time. It's reminding me of that, but it's definitely not a prominent note. I will not touch this till December now. It has to sit. It needs to find itself. It's not found itself. It's figuring life out. Mudiya is beautiful. I really wish if the performance even increased 50%, I would be absolutely happy with it. Right now, it's not worth spending money and then spraying perfume, like going so heavy-handed. It's still like it's going to cost you $30 or $35 because Alapsar fragrances are not that expensive. But still, it's like, do you really want this? I can wear this to bed, you know, but that's about it. Or I can wear this like if I'm visiting someone in the hospital, like, you know, if you're a healthcare worker, you know, you can wear this. It's so mild and so like beautiful, but it's there, but like the patient won't even know you're wearing it. You know, it's like, where's the smell coming from? Like, it's literally that. The projection is 1 feet, I had said. It's literally half a feet or something. It's not changed at all. It did macerate a little bit, changing into a better perfume. The longevity also, like 4 hours would be like the max, and that's like I'm being very generous about it, you know. So no, my rating has not changed for this. The maceration has not really helped. I'll let you know in December. I know one thing, this is never gonna get decluttered, okay? Even if it's like a pathetic scent, you know, like in terms of performance, I like the scent so much that I will use this up. Probably in a month or two by overspraying, but I will still use this up. I like it that much. Now I saved the most dangerous one for the last because after I spray this perfume, honestly, I've been spraying this like once a week, and I've been spraying it on my curtain because I'm like, please do not come anywhere near me. And the thing is that it is still a very new perfume, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update on how it is changing or what's happening with it. It is the Voux Patisserie. The bottle is like, I don't know, I'm very conflicted on what to think about the bottle. The shape is like very strange. This perfume, like I wish I could spray like half a spray somehow, you know, because the potency on this perfume, there is no problem with the performance of this perfume. It is this, no. Okay, so that artificial fruit, the fruit flavoring, you know, the essence of fruits that you get, that you add like in baking goods, right? Like you just add drops. This smells like an entire bottle of that spilled on you, you know. It's just the opening. It's just that opening in the beginning that smells like that. It also gives me like a cilantro vibe. I'm sure it is me. I'm sure it's my brain, my nose, my everything. And I know there'll be like probably 10 to 20% of people, or maybe I don't know how many people, but last time I remember a lot of people agreed with me. A lot of people disagreed with me. That cilantro note is so strong with that artificial fruit smell. It's just too, like, it hits your head so hard that I literally want to do that to myself, you know. But the problem is that when it starts drying, it's so beautiful. The top notes are tangerine, cardamom, and saffron. In the middle, you have rose, apple, and milky notes. And in the base notes, you have vanilla and sandalwood. First of all, these notes make zero sense to me. So this is supposed to be a dupe for Italica by Xerjoff. The thing is, I have the original Italica Xerjoff in a vial, and they smell very similar. But that opening of that artificial fruits essence and that cilantro is not there in Italica. Another thing about this, it smells very strongly of coconut, like coconut shavings that you use again in bakery. I'm glad that they named it Woo Patisserie, because patisserie is exactly how it smells like. It smells like your sweet dough. It smells like your coconut, your vanilla essence, your fruit essence extracts and stuff. A little bit of cardamom, but you know, when you say milky notes, apple, rose, you know, all these notes are not making sense to me. Now, this perfume for sure, when it dries down, it turns into a beautiful perfume. I will still never wear that perfume on myself. It's beautiful, no doubt. I would love to smell it on other people, and I would love to smell it in a patisserie, in a bakery, but not on myself. It's too overwhelming, you know. But I know some people love this scent. If you give it 30 minutes to dry down, it becomes quite nice. It creates like a little warm bakery patisserie kind of scent where there's like cakes and sweet breads and everything kept around you, and you do smell like a snack, like delicious, but at the same time that note in the background never ever goes away. It'll keep coming in like whiffs to you, right? Especially if you're wearing it on yourself. That's why I'm saying, if somebody else wears this and they pass by and I get that whiff of that patisserie kind of scent, I will love it. But if I put it on myself, I'll be constantly smelling that and it's going to choke me, right? So what I had said about this perfume is that I'm going to keep it till winter. So obviously I'm going to keep this till December and then decide what to do about it, because December will be a cold month in UAE. December and Jan is supposed to be the coldest month. So ideally I should like try this in Jan, but December is good enough. And that's when I'll make a decision, because it's possible that the heat in Dubai right now is not allowing me to like this perfume. Plus, it's going to give it plenty of time to macerate and we'll know how it's done for me. It's definitely a fall-winter scent. The projection is insane. I've written 4 to 5 feet. That's nonsense. This is like 10 feet. I'm not kidding. It's like spray this. One spray is more than enough. It's like if you spray like 5 sprays, I'm sure people are going to start like collapsing and fainting around you. And the longevity also is like, it's 8+ hours, 10 hours as a matter of fact. This perfume, I spray it on my curtain whenever I want to test it out, and I can smell it till the very next day. And even Ali, when he comes in the room, he says there's a very peculiar kind of scent. He also does not like this perfume, by the way. So he always says there's a peculiar scent in the room, you know. Guys, take my review for this one with a grain of salt, because I am sure this is something to do with skin chemistry, because I did get a lot of opposing thoughts as well. So try it for yourself, but it's definitely not a safe blind buy, yeah? We have reached the end of this maceration video. So yeah, a lot of perfumes did macerate quite well. I'm very happy with my Irida, which I'm going to be wearing today. Besides that, most of the perfumes like really did like wow me with their performances and the changes and the blends and everything. They just got so much better with time. And this is the thing with Middle Eastern fragrances, you need to give them time. So everybody who, even like, you know, sometimes, not saying this to protect myself, but sometimes you hear me saying stuff. If you just have bought a perfume and you sprayed it and you expect to feel the same thing I'm feeling after a couple of months of like trying the perfume, it's not going to be the same experience, you know. So you need to give it some time. Give it a couple of months. And there are certain brands that release perfumes that are already macerated, like Ahmad Al Maghribi from this lot was already like very, very well macerated. The rest of them, they all required like some form of maceration. Paris Corner perfumes, I know for a fact that they require like almost a year. Like in a year, the perfume changes like so much. So I do give my Paris Corner perfumes a lot of time. And every time I do a maceration update, for some reason, they impress me, you know. So I'm going to keep all my Paris Corner perfumes. This is the only one that's bothersome to me. Like out of all of them, I'll decide what to do with it in December. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know these perfume maceration videos are very helpful to you, and it is because of you that I started making these videos. So thank you so much, because these are the videos that I get the most views on, you know, because I guess this is the time where you actually know if the perfume is worth it or not to purchase, right? In the beginning, you smell a perfume, it's all hyped up and everything, you feel so good, but then it starts changing. Sometimes the performance is not good and you want to see how the performance becomes. Why am I speaking like a train? I'm going like without punctuations, you know, like at all. I'm like, you know. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.